Well, hello, my friend, and welcome to this week's broadcast. I am Anne Follett, a surface pattern designer, online educator, and creative entrepreneur. And in this week's broadcast, I am starting a new series all about the different ways that you can make money in surface design. So over the course of the next several weeks, I'm going to break down each of the major categories for you so that we can do a bit of a deep dive into what does it mean, what could it look like for you, and specifically, what are some of the key next steps. So today, I want to talk about licensing. And licensing is a very big category, and it's got a lot of components to it. So let's start with really how to break it down in what I like to call the 4 key steps. Now, the first most important step is that you need to create a lot of artwork. And the reason you need to create a lot of artwork is because you need to really hone your signature style so that people start to recognize the type of work that you create, the style that you design in, maybe the color palettes that you use, or generally the mark making that really brings your artwork alive and makes it look different from everyone else's. That's step 1 in the process. And so you need to give yourself grace and be really patient because it's going to take a lot of practice. And you're in this for the long haul. And so that is the best place to start. Now, once you have a body of work, you want to put that into a portfolio. And that portfolio can be a digital portfolio that potential licensors can access through your website. And maybe it's behind a password. You can create a real portfolio that you could send in the mail to art directors as you get a little bit further along. But having a portfolio, whether it's a digital one or a physical one, is really, really important. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is you may want to start to do a lot of networking. And one way to do networking is to be in creative communities with other surface designers who are also looking to become licensed, because we're a very generous community and we share our contacts with one another. But it's also going to be important for you to do the hard work yourself of networking. Maybe that's attending craft fairs or trade shows like Surtex or Blueprint or others once we can actually do those in person again. But in the meantime, you can learn a lot online about those particular trade shows. And the reason you want to do that is you need to start to collect names and email addresses and phone numbers for art directors who are the decision makers in most cases and are the people who are deciding whether to hire you or not as a licensed designer at their company. And so starting to build that network of contacts is super important. Then the next step in the process is for you to start to identify, well, what are going to be the best places for me to license my art? You don't want to do it like I'm going to send out 100 resumes when you're looking for a job. You know that that's not effective. You have to be targeted, right? You have to find a list of targeted companies that you think you would be a good fit for and start there with your outreach. And your outreach could be a combination of sending an introductory email, or it could be making a phone call and trying to get them on the phone, or get an appointment with them the next time they're going to be at a major trade show. And the reason that watching out for what's happening in the trade show market is so important is because that is the 1 or 2 times a year where everybody you want to meet is in the same place. And then finally, what you're going to want to do is that when you have a hot lead, you want to make sure that you have lots of perseverance, that you continue to follow up with them and provide them with any additional information they might need to make a decision. And then you want to make sure that you actually consult a lawyer when you're in the contract negotiation phase. Just a couple of quick tips there, a couple of pro tips. What's great about licensing is that you can pick an industry to start and license your designs in that industry. But just so long as your lawyer helps you make sure your contract is negotiated properly, you can potentially take those very same designs and license it in a different industry. Meaning you could take the same designs and license them with Cloud9 fabrics, just to use an example. And then just so long as your contract is negotiated properly, You could take that very same collection and license it to a company like Anthropologie, which might want to put your designs on a bunch of products in their kitchen and housewares section, just as an example. And then, of course, the step after that is to celebrate the fact that you've landed your first licensing contract and to deliver spectacularly based on either the number of collections the company wants you to deliver to them or the number of individual patterns that you need to deliver to them. So I hope that you enjoyed this first in a series of videos about how to make money as a surface pattern designer. Can't wait to see you next week. And as you know, I always like to say in closing that I am Anne LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this broadcast, please go to my website, AnneLafolletteArt.com. And what you see on screen is the first page that you land on when you go to my website. And then if you scroll down just a little bit, you will see this beautiful banner there, which is where you can enroll for my free mini course, From Doodles to Dollars. I only offer this free program twice a year, so you don't want to miss it. You can see the Enroll Today button right there on screen. Then if you scroll down a little bit further, you will see at the bottom of my website a place where you can follow me on Instagram. And then don't forget to pop over and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Anne LaFollette. There's a red subscribe button that I'm showing you right now. And if you click on that, don't forget to also select the little bell so that you get notified the next time I have a broadcast.